Abdul Rahman. I'm a lecturer at a public university in Kenya. I deliver lectures in computing and informatics. In our last lesson, we discussed about the string swap algorithm. We have seen that the string swap algorithm is a process of interchanging two contents of a string, whereby one content it is interchanged to another content. So today we are going to ask ourselves what is a string reversal algorithm, and that this will make up the end of a series of lectures on a string algorithm. So in that particular journey, we are going to define what is a string reversal algorithm, and also we are going to see actually what are the algorithm which will make up a string reversal. However, we had a predefined reversal string function, and finally we are going to implement how can we do a string reversal algorithm. So on that particular note, let's start what actually it is a string reversal algorithm. So here we are saying actually a string reversal algorithm is a process of changing the order. So we are changing the order. Changing the order of what? We are changing the order of characters. We are changing the order of characters in a string. So if you have a string, the order is going to be changed in an opposite direction. So in an opposite direction. So basically, when we are talking about string reversal, we have, for example, a string maybe called Abdul. On this particular string called Abdul, which is in this particular order, we have to change it into a different order. Let's take, for example, we want to change it into this particular order, whereby we are starting with L, and then we are moving up with U, and then with D, and then with B, and finally with A. So the order should be L, U, D, B, and A. So this particular order is what we call a string reversal. So you are reversing this particular order in that particular manner. So with that, actually we are taken to the algorithm itself. So algorithm itself is a very simple algorithm as opposed to the swap algorithm. Actually, if you are given up a string, what will happen it is we take up the length of that particular string. So we have a string length which is a predefined, and then we put up a loop. So we are looping what? We are looping up the string, and then from where to where? From our last indexed. So we have got our last indexed to where? Our first index. So to our first index, and then after doing that, basically what are we going to do? Here we are printing each character. So each character is going to be printed. So if you are given up, for example, if we are given a string called by, so here maybe you have got a string, and this particular string, here we have got B, Y, E. We know all the string must have a null value. So if you are given this particular string, we'll see that the index of this particular string will be 0, 1, 2, 3. So if we want to refer any of this string, so if we want to refer to B, so if we have our string here, string, this particular string, if you want to refer to y, it means we are referring to index 1. If you want to refer to b, it means we are referring to actually index 0. So that is very important to understand. And the length of this particular string, actually it returns up 3. So this will be the length, which is first one, second one, and third one. We have seen in our previous lessons that the null does not count. So this is the length. So basically, if we want to print according to this particular algorithm, actually we are supposed to take up the length. So the length here, if you are given this string as by, that is the first part of it, and the second part of it we are given up the length. The length we have seen it is 3. Then where do we loop? We loop from the last. So our last, actually it is at index 2, but the length it is actually 3. So we are taking up this length. We are taking up this length. So if we are taking up the length, we should take up -1. It will give us actually our index. So this one will give up our index. So if the length is 3 minus 1, it gives us the index 2, which is I, which is E. And then from there, we are moving on from index 2, we are moving on to index 1, which is Y. And then we're moving on to index 0, which is actually B. So we have seen, actually, by using this particular algorithm and using up the loop, we are reversing this particular string, whereby we start to print I, and then we're printing up Y, and finally we are printing up this particular one B, and actually we have reversed. So let's see how we are going to apply the same using up dev C++, whereby here we are going to ask up a user to enter up their name. Let's take, for example, enter up their name, maybe enter up the name Abdul, and then we want to see this particular name be reversed to become Abdul. So basically that's what we are going to do. So let's go back now to dev C++ and see how we can actually implement. So here we are in dev C++. So we have our string here, char name, and we give it a value of 30. And also here we'll have our int length, which is going to carry up the length of the string. And basically here we are telling up the user printf enter your name. So basically we're telling up the user to enter up the name, and then we're using up the gets to get up the name. After that, we are telling up the user printf, and we are telling the user that actually your name before reversal or before reverse, your name before reverse equals to, and actually we are giving them the name, and we terminate. Now from here, actually we are taking up the length and passing on our string length function, whereby we want to get up the length of the string which is going to be entered. And then from there we are telling them printf and basically what are we telling? That your name after reversal should be what? So here it's a very interesting one. So your name after reversal should be what? Now here we are putting up a loop. So for int I should be equal to our length less than 1, because here we want to refer our length, whichever length it is, minus 1 in order to get up the index, because our indexes start from 0, so we have to say minus 1. So our index minus 1, and I should be actually greater than or equal to 0. So we want to equals to 0. We want to go actually until when we reach at index 0, and that will be our the end of our string. And then we are doing it in a reverse manner, so I should actually be minus minus. So basically that will be the logic of our loop, and in that particular loop basically we are printing up. So we say print f, and this time we are not printing up a string, but we are printing up character. So we are printing up each and every character, so that will be %c. And basically what are we printing? We are printing up the name and their indexes. So as we loop, we are going to see the index, and our index will have our counter, which is I. Whenever it goes, it will go. So if it is Abdul, and Abdul actually it is 5 5 letters, so it will go actually from the length of 5 and print up the first one, and then go up to the length, print up the first one, print them here, and then this one print them here, and then he print them here, and this one print them here until the end of it. So that is our logic. Let's run it and see what happens. So when we run this particular program, actually it runs with no error, and it tells us to enter your name. So I enter my name there as Abdul. After entering my name as Abdul, I see your name before the reverse was called Abdul, and your name after the reverse is called Ludba, whereby we're starting with L-U-D-B and A. So that is actually makes up the end of this particular demonstration of a string reversal algorithm, and that also makes up the end of our series of lectures on actually string. Until then, in our next lesson, we are going to start up a new lessons on arrays, and you're going to see different type of arrays, their syntax, their use, and how actually they can be used. So thank you very much for listening. Until next time, bye.